Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another Creative Corner session. Today I have something a little bit different. We are going to be doing some flower mandala sun catchers. But before we go ahead and get started on the workshop for today, let's go over some of the materials we'll be using. The flower mandalas are relatively simple. It just requires 4 different ingredients. So I went ahead and did one before, and I have the flowers right in front of me. So I plucked the petals and put them inside, and we're going to seal it up with contact paper. So I do have some contact paper off to the side here. You can choose to use fishing line. You can also use twine, string, as long as you're able to hang it up in your window. You can also use some regular white school glue, clear glue, hot glue gun, just as long as you're able to glue things together. You also need a pair of scissors, a paper plate, and then some flowers. I chose to use real flowers. You can choose to use plastic ones or artificial ones. It's entirely up to you. And then I also would like to show you the flowers that I used to make the demonstration one. First thing you'll need to do is go ahead and get your paper plate, and then you're going to cut out the middle to make a little window. So I went ahead and did these beforehand, but you're going to have a tiny lip on your paper plate, so that way the contact paper stays on the plate itself. But when you do cut out the hole, you can get a box cutter or a pin and stab the paper plate kind of center, so that way it goes all the way through. If you're using a pair of scissors, please be extremely careful. You want to make sure that your fingers are wide enough apart, and you're going to just pierce a hole in the plate. And then you're going to get your scissors, and all you have to do is just cut to make room. And we're just going to cut around, like I said, making a lip. If you can find very large paper plates, that is fantastic. If you can't and you only have small paper plates, just be careful with how you're cutting it. And when you choose your flowers, you want to make sure that if you have a plate relatively this size, that you have petals that are kind of medium size to small size. But if you're working with a larger paper plate, you can incorporate some of the larger size ones. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a few flowers from my bouquet. I'm just going to get my scissors, cut towards the top end of the flower. And I am going to choose relatively the same flowers I did previous time. So I have a rose. I think this is a daisy. I'm going to choose another daisy too. So I have a couple of flowers. If you want to incorporate some of the leaves, you can too as well. But before we add the flowers, you're going to measure on your contact paper the width of your plate, which I already did before we started. One side is going to be the plastic with the sticky side, and the other side is just going to be for the drawing purposes. And what you want to do is you're going to get your plate, and then get a pen or a pencil, and you're going to outline your window of your plate. And once you have that, you're going to cut outside the line so that way you it sticks to the lip of your plate. I like to go roughly about 1/4 of an inch outwards. And then once you have your contact paper ready, all you have to do is peel off the protective coating, if I can actually get it. Peel off the protective coating, and then you're going to try to center this as much as possible, but be careful not to get it stuck to the table. And once you have that, you're going to do it to your second plate. But before we do that, you're going to get your flowers of your choosing. Pluck off a few of the petals of your Now, mandalas themselves are symmetrical in a it's called radial symmetry. So it's symmetrical all the way around. And what you want to do is decide where your middle is, and you start with your design. It's really up to you how you want to do it. But you're just going to put one flower petal at a time. And you're just going to do whatever design you feel comfortable with. You just want to make sure that you have somewhat of a symmetrical balance all the way around. And it's really up to you how you want to design it. You can always experiment with different flower petals. You can do just one flower all the way around. But there we have the beginnings of our mandala. I'm going to put this aside. Measure our second piece of contact paper. And again, I am measuring out approximately 1/4 of an inch around the circle that I just drew, so that way it attaches to the lip of the plate. And then you peel off the protective coating, which is easier said than done. And be careful not to get your contact paper stuck to your work surface, because it is difficult to get off. But once you have both the top plate and the bottom plate done, and you have both the contact sheets down, and you're satisfied with your overall design, all you have to do next is just go ahead and get the paper plates, combine the two contact papers, and then just get your hands, apply firm pressure to seal the two pieces of contact paper. Now next, you want to go ahead and get your second pair of cutouts, pieces of paper. And you can use school glue, hot glue, whatever you'd like to use, but you're going to seal the contact paper with your second plate. And the last thing you need to do is go ahead and get some string. As I mentioned before, you can use string, you can use twine. I have in front of me some fishing wire. Measure out a length. Fishing line is kind of hard to tie, but if you have, you can use your legs, your arm, but you're just going to tie the two ends together. And then what you can do is you can wrap it around where the two plates meet, and then just get some hot glue or some regular glue and glue the string into place. But there you have it, your basic flower mandala suncatcher. We use 3 different types of flower colors, and you're more than welcome to experiment with whatever works best with you. Once you're done with your mandala, you can choose to leave your plate white, or if you want, you can get colored plates. You can also use paints to paint the edges. It is entirely up to you how you would like to do this. Thank you for joining me on this week's session of Creative Quarter. Today we went ahead and did some flower mandala sun catchers. You can hang these up in your window where you get the most sunlight. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to all of our social media platforms. We have everything from Facebook to YouTube. And if you haven't already, you can also sign up for our monthly newsletter. And all you have to do is just go to our website, OFPL, with the period symbol, online. And you can go to our newsletter, check out our previous editions. But thank you again, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.